Good evening and welcome to RockSingle. I am your host, and we thank you for joining us as we rock truth or absolutely nothing at all. Let me repeat that. I'm your host, Tyron Joe. We live in a society today where truth, even before our very eyes, is consistently questioned, criticized, and altered to fit a person's ideology of God's original intent for the kingdom and for mankind. We believe that the Bible, our kingdom constitution, is inspired, infallible, inherent, and the final authority for all. Rock Single is founded on He who is the original point of reference for all things to come through eternity. The Rock Single podcast is a cross-cultural response to the economic and social climate of today's relationship scene. Rock Single will teach you how to maneuver and still be kingdom-minded throughout your relationship experiences. Our aim is to help repair the fallen and broken man with a kingdom mindset. The podcast seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established local kings and queens of character while promoting Black consciousness and awareness of who we are and to whom we belong. Kingdom Renaissance Cross Country. Welcome, and greetings, everybody.
Hey,
What's going on?
good evening. Good evening.
We got the Kimbers and the Wordsmith in the house.
How are you today?
I'm 100.
You sure? I see all that water you drinking.
Are you always bald? Because I feel like you always have on a hat.
Yes, that's the thing. I had a head on. I had a head on when I have lots of hair. So the hair got cut. So now the head is off.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure I ain't missed nothing.
No, you ain't missing nothing. I had them granola bars. I see you made granola bars while we on the stairs. Got me up here. I got the phone in my face like granola.
You should have seen the way she watched me eat the crepe though. That was
hey man. Them crepes are good and she put like the little what was it that you put berries, made a berry meringue.
I put fresh berries, blackberries
Fresh
and blueberries. Yes.
Lord.
It was delicious.
Lord.
And then like the crepes was like all buttery, like they tasted so buttery.
Yes. Ooh,
yeah.
Stop days.
My bad, y'all. My bad.
This day 5 for us, Ty?
Yes, day 5.
Yeah. How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm feeling good. Actually, I'm feeling good for it's like I was telling Shannon, it's mind over matter. Mind over matter. Really?
That's the one.
That's so messed up. That's so jacked.
Why would Will do that?
Like, I mean, you're talking about a hater from the Himalaya.
Really?
Like for real. That's really jacked up, King. That is jacked up.
That's absolutely the one.
Oh, we got our boy in the house.
Hey,
what's going on?
Hey, how you doing? What's up?
we doing all right. We see you with your Chester Cheetos shirt on.
Now he come over with some Cheetos.
Fresh off work, man. Hey.
Wait, you work at the Cheetos place?
Yeah, I work at the warehouse.
You do, so you get free chips.
Here we go.
Make
she trying to.
You know.
I need a few bags. Send a few bags. I'm gonna give you my address just in case. Well, after the fast, don't send me nothing during these next. How many days we got?
He gonna have them there about a weekend.
Yeah, don't send nothing.
Yeah, I'm doing. We're going through a consecration month ourselves. So. Yeah,
okay, cool. Oh yeah, we're gonna throw up this picture or whatever.
Yeah, I can't do no Cheetos right now, but I'll holler at you next month.
Right.
But you see, and he got the marshmallows on the sweet potatoes and the gravy on everything.
And he still got it on the screen too.
That's my favorite GIF, man. My favorite GIF. I'm talking about food.
Oh wow. Well, we are happy to have you here with us. I mean, first of all, you started off your day lighting up the Facebook and the chart.
Okay.
Hey, I just There's so many things that you see through the airwaves, and it's a lot of things that I'll be wanting to attack and dissect, and of course scrutinize, and I'm a word, like I said, I'm a words guy. I know you are as well, Mary. Like it's just we have to be better with how we decree things. We say some crazy things, and we don't understand like how habitual it's gotten over the years of our lives. So the generational curses of this thing start with us just by learning how to speak things differently into the atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So many different things happen, and it's important that what is he posting? I already know. I already
Like, what's
know.
he laughing at?
He said Anthony got that come up Bluetooth sounding crystal.
Hey, that's why I was a little late. I'm trying to, I'm getting off. I told Mary, I said I'm probably be in the car because, I want to be, I'm gonna be fresh off. So I was trying to figure out some bugs. I got my iPad here too, so if I figure that out, I'll probably use that. But I was trying to initially start on that, but it wasn't acting right like my phone was. So
I mean, but you are coming out clear.
Yeah,
you are clear.
Yeah, I wish mine could come out like that. I had to get the Wi-Fi. And sometimes that Wi-Fi is a little shaky.
Yeah, but you know what? I got this. I purchased this little Wi-Fi connector thing to my phone when I went to my car when I bought my phone. So I thought that would be a little bit convenient for me when I'm on the go. So
yeah.
I'm operating actually. I'm operating actually off that device. I got Wi-Fi in my car. So.
All right, I'm gonna have to catch up with you. You can tell me what that is.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Well, today we chose for a subject. We're continuing the topic, the rules of engagement, mastering singleness, but subtopic today, and I like how the wordsmith did this. The wordsmith, she did her thing today, y'all.
Okay.
She said, "What are your foundational concepts of relationship?" I like that. I like that because when I look at the word con, that that means to persuade someone to believe or think a certain idea. So that already just got in my head like, oh.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say this and move out the way. Like a lot of a lot of these women that I done dated and talked to, what be going in my head when I'm talking to them, like, man, who you got your dating ideas and opinion from? Because I've dated a lot of women that every time I talk to them, they tell me what their mama said or what their mama think. Like I had to ask the girl one time. I was like, am I dating you or your mama?
My Lord, King.
I had to ask her that because she talking about, well, my mama, I told my mama about what we was talking about the other night in bed, and you know what, she said this. I was like, hold on. Your mama wasn't in bed with me, so why are we having a conversation about your mama?
Lord,
I agree.
All right, go ahead.
But I was actually
Go ahead.
I was reading earlier and I came across in Proverbs 7:1. It said, "Do not lust after her beauty in your heart, nor let her allure you with her eyelids, for by means of a harlot a man is reduced to a crust of bread. And an adulteress will prey upon his precious life."
Pray upon, not pray, King.
Not pray. Pray like a predator.
Right.
Like eat you alive.
They coming for blood.
Okay.
Not
and,
that.
And that crust of bread part stood out to me because, it's a whole lot of men complaining and whining and crying about how women only want them for their pocketbook and they only want to know how much money they're going to spend because those are the women you are dealing with.
Come on, sis.
When you deal with a real woman, that conversation doesn't come up until the prior conversation is started with, I'm looking to get married. I want to build. Then that's when finances come into the conversation because when you're building with someone, you want to know what they got to build with.
Come on, sis.
If you're talking about money and you haven't talked about a kingdom, you're putting the cart before the horse.
Right.
And then that's why you're sitting there looking crazy with your pocketbook in your hand trying to find love. Who does that?
And then you wonder why your cart won't go because the cart is before the horse. Crazy.
You wondering why you getting used for free dinners and free meals and stuff because that's what you dangling as the carrot. You're not presenting your character. You're not presenting yourself, your own value, your intrinsic value as a human being, as a man.
Better teach it.
You're dangling dinner as, hey, I want to take you out to dinner, not, hey, I want to connect with you and find out more about you. I want to get to know you as a person. And then whatever y'all decide to do as for that activity, that's what you decide on. But the presentation should be in getting to know each other.
Yes.
And presenting your value first.
I love it. I love everything you just said because wheel turning and it made me think about something I often hear, and it's just that women control the access to sex, so their options open up with their youth, with their looks, with their physique, with their beauty, and then vice versa. And you see women flaunt that, and then of course men, their options open up with finances, and so they flaunt that. So we have to be. You're absolutely right. You have to be very careful with what you flaunt because people fall in love with impressions. And so even when the flags come, they see the flags. They're saying, you know what? I see it, but you know what I'm saying? I can kind of look over that because that impression he gave me. And so they're stuck on that untapped potential, and you can never reach that. And so it never reach it. Then that comes the damage and the resentment and the acrimony over time because that person never reached that potential you were stuck on.
Because there it is. Because they was looking at the tree and they said, oh, well, I planted a fig tree and they didn't see no figs on the tree. And then guess what? No figs ever grew on that tree.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And
now you're hungry and upset.
Yep. You must look for fruit. And so you are absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah. What I really loved about the ideology that you brought to the forefront today, Ty, was again, this is about, the concept. This is about the construction of. And the question is, where did you get it from?
Yes.
Where did you get this from? So even if you thought about, okay, where did you get idea of this girlfriend, boyfriend? Where did you get idea of marriage? Where did you get idea of engagement? Where did you get this stuff? Because it's because of those reasons why when you get to the end, things aren't right. They're not proper. And like you were talking about earlier, you said, oh, girl talking to her mama. Why? First of all, why are you even telling me that you just told your mama what we just said? Like,
come on.
You are crazy.
She ain't holding nobody's secrets.
So oh, Lord, why would you are seriously doing damage and harm when I can't trust you. Like as a man, I'm saying as men that they can't trust women. When they can't trust, this is where their love lies in the trust and the Lord. They need to know that they can trust.
I had to shut that down.
Go ahead, King. Shoot.
Oh no, I'm gonna say I had to shut that down because come on now. Honestly, it wasn't nothing really. Thank God, it wasn't nothing too deep
this time.
You know what I'm saying? Thank God it wasn't
we're doing that.
But she's come back with the other day I was talking to my mama and I told my mama, hey, why you tell your mama? Then me being who I am,
telling your mama?
I said, well, what, next time, how about next time when you get ready to tell your mama, how about both of y'all come here to bed? So that kind of
that kind of went left. But she may as well though, because that's what that is.
I need both of y'all to be in bed.
I hope you dodged the bullet, brother. I hope you dodged that bullet now, brother. you go start a fire. You go start a fire with that comment.
Oh yeah. She went off and helped the pump for a while, but we was all right. We was all right afterwards.
Right.
I mentioned something. Yeah, I kind of mentioned something earlier. About that. How every time something kind of happens with how us so-called black men make moves and different things like that, you'll always notice that some of the touch women will always, or these modern day women, as I tend to just say for them as, tend to make remarks like, you don't like your women because you must don't love your mother because of how you talk to the women. I'm saying to myself like, your mother will take a bullet for you. You gonna probably put a bullet in me. You're temporary. You're not blood. So
Right.
because we know how much relationships change, I don't understand why it's always that comparison put out there because they're different. And when you're a woman, you should want to be in your own lane. You're not my mama,
Mhm.
so you never gonna be in that lane. But
Right.
when I link up with you, understand, mama's never gonna be in your lane either. So we really have to watch. And I say, going back to words, we are so used to some of the things that come out of our mouths that we don't understand make permanent marks. And then when we're standing over that bloody person after we plunged with the knife, we look at them like, how you have the audacity to bleed, but you called it that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So we just have to be better with that stuff, man. We really have to be
Yeah.
better with that.
Let me
Like you
say
said, you
this.
have the audacity to bleed. Go ahead, Ty.
Now, yeah, I was gonna say this that like really it goes deep because a lot of times, I mean, I really do be wanting to know, like, how were I mean, and you can really find out how the opposite sex, that you're dating, how they were socialized as a young girl, or for you, Mary, as a young man, how they were socialized into this world by the stuff they talk about and their beliefs, and we're gonna stay on that young lady because it was really interesting because a lot of times whatever her mama said to her it was golden, but she also was a church goer. So I was like, well, whose word do you take? Because
My
sometimes we
Lord.
get to talking about the Bible and get to talking about the scriptures, and I'll be like, me and her, we might be quoting the scripture. I was like, yeah, the scripture say this, God said this, but guess what she is say? Take one wild guess. Guess what'll come out of her mouth?
My mama.
Well, my
But her
mama
mama said,
said,
"Oh no." So then there we go. So
did your
again,
mama write the
where
Bible? Did your mama write
did
the Bible?
mama write the Bible?
And
Did your mama write the Bible? Yes,
and
sir.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. As a man, that would never work in her house. You're married and
Woo!
you talking about your mama. That would never work. So I don't.
Never.
Yeah, that got to be shut down immediately.
Well, my mama said that you can. My mama said, I think it was some conversation we hopped on about whether you pray kneeling or standing up, and she was like, "Well, my mama said you can pray either way." I was like, "Yeah, you can," but again, did your mama write the Bible?
Right? Did your mama write the Bible? That's what you should post later, right after the show. Did your mama write the Bible? Like
I'm
because that is
serious.
important. Did your
well,
mama?
And she was a fully grown woman. I think I was like 26. She
I
was
believe you.
25.
I believe
wow,
you. I
wow.
believe you. Like this is real. And again, like we're saying, where did you get this idea from? And what voice are you listening to? You should be only listening to one. And the
Yes.
problem that you have with everything going on, because you listen to all these other things. Now you should ask. So if that's what your mama said, where did she get it from? Like
Mhm.
we're not even
Mhm.
asking none of these questions. We just accept our realities and just take them and go. And it's just like, no, 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 no. Question everything. Your
Right.
mama may not be right. Did you ever
Mhm.
consider that one?
Come on.
You ever consider that one? Your mama wrong. You ever tried
Mhm.
that one out? Your sister wrong. Your cousin wrong. Your auntie could be wrong. Your pastor could be wrong.
Come on.
Your mentor
Absolute
could be wrong.
facts.
Come
Willie,
on.
Real
Willie,
facts.
Willie talking about let that chick go. She been gone. That was back in 2009. So what is this? 2011? I mean, 2021 has been many years ago. but
Uh-huh.
but I'm gonna say this though to what you said, Queen. That's absolutely correct because I'm gonna tell you, she was the type, and you know what? I know many other people that's like this. Many other men and women that allow what they mama or daddy or their
Mhm.
grandmother or grandfather say to be
Right.
gospel. They allow that to say it, and if you try to challenge that, they get really upset. And so
Mhm.
I noticed most of the time with that young lady I dated, that was a lot of our arguments and confrontation. She get upset, and you know how y'all do get upset. Won't call for a day or two. Be all in your feelings. when we have challenging questions about our mama because she like to bring up our mama. But I'm like, what about God? What
Come on.
about
Right.
the scriptures? Wait, the gospel according to your mama. And then me, I
Gospel
started
of
with the jokes. I started with the jokes, so she really was mad. I was like, we don't wait. We're not doing the gospel according to your mama today. We're gonna do God. That's what we're gonna do.
Fact.
God.
At least we can come from John today. At least we can come from John. But what we ain't gonna do is come from your mama. Okay? Your mama 12 and 2. That's what we not gonna do today. That's
We're
what we
not
not.
doing mama.
Exactly. Yeah,
Hilarious.
we have to develop our own testimony for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. Like, not to take us totally off subject, but like just what I saw today, online when I saw the interracial couples from the protest, and just how that is freaking hilarious to me.
Interracial
No,
couple of what?
but you know that they were on
From the protest.
a divorce court show too.
What?
Yep. So just how
No.
they got together, they was about to split. I don't know if they were still married when that occurred, but I know
Right.
that at some point she was ready to, they was ready to go ahead and call it quits. So I guess they worked it out.
She said maybe they worked it out. I don't know. I just know it has to be freaky weird to have someone who supposedly stands against everything you are.
Well, the video clip that I saw, it was a comedian. He was talking about it, but he had some very serious points, and he was talking about how a lot of times those situations, like, it doesn't matter what race it is, it could be black, white, white, Chinese, whatever. If
Yeah.
mixed races, there tends to be a fetish aspect of it. And I'm like, that's a
Mm.
word, because I have overheard some men conversations. I was like, well, I bet she this and I bet she that, but it has nothing to do with her character or her value, like
Come on
regardless
now.
of her culture or her race or her background. So,
Yeah.
that's a very deep aspect, especially when the relationship is based on, physical, material, lustful, things like. And he
Yep.
even said, he was like, y'all trying to sex away racism. Obviously that's not working, because there's been interracial everything since for years, and obviously that
Come
hasn't
on,
fixed a
Chrissy.
thing. So
Sex
Wow,
away.
that's not it.
man, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So what happened with the interracial couple? What they do?
They were the black women were spouses of the men that were caught and arrested in the Capitol Hill storming. So they had the tattoos, but
Wow.
they had the Proud Boy
Okay.
tattoos, but
Oh,
we got
Proud Boys. Oh,
yeah,
that's
they
Oh
got
right.
hit
wow.
right.
Proud Boy is married to a black woman. That's right.
Yeah, it was like
Okay.
two of them they caught, and like one of them, they both got children, right? Like this is crazy. But then one minute you a Proud Boy, then the other one I don't know. I guess you trying to sex it away. I guess I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
I don't know.
Let me ask y'all a question. Did any of y'all see the movie Django?
Yes.
I did. I
Yeah.
love Django.
Yeah.
Okay. Do y'all remember the
All 3 hours
part?
of
Do
it.
y'all remember the part with the KKK when they was trying to attack them?
In the beginning,
Yeah. Do y'all remember that part? Well, no.
you should. It was in the beginning when they was like riding through initially, and they had the horses coming his way. He was with the white guy.
No,
He was
hold
with
on. Maybe I might have my movies mixed up.
oh, it's okay. It's
Mm.
okay.
I
Maybe
might have-
I'm like in the beginning.
I remember it was a KKK part in one of
Uh-huh.
those movies where like the KKK totally messed up. Like somebody pulled their hood off. The other one
Oh yeah,
they
he's like, you're
they
not
ended
supposed
up
to show
turning
your
on each
face.
other.
Yeah,
What movie
because
was that? Was
they
that
was.
Django?
I think that was.
That was
I think it
Django, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Where
not sure,
they
but
turned on each other. They was like, dude, I think he accidentally shot one of them. He shot one of the other guys. He's like, what'd you shoot me for?
yeah,
That's what that
that
remind me of. That whole little situation last week. I'm gonna talk
Mm-hmm.
about it tomorrow.
Just
But
doing
that
stuff,
whole
just
okay,
be doing
situation last
stuff.
week, yeah, that was fun.
okay. Yeah, the
What
part you talking about, I don't believe that happened in Django, but I know they were arguing about that mask in Django.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
don't
they
That's
know
was
what
what
I
saying
that yeah,
names. He
maybe
was
that
like,
was
"You're not supposed to say
Django.
my real name." Like they was messing with everything.
y'all ungrateful things. You my wife made this
Yeah.
mask.
That's why I thought it was Django. What you was
Right.
gonna say? What
That's what
movie
I
was that?
remember.
Okay, now
Like
I'm
it's hard
going.
to breathe in this.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
a
rack my
different movie.
brain now.
Yeah, My
That
man
was,
was
that was, that was,
going
I
off,
mean, that was
man.
funny. That's what happened last week. I mean, I'm like, come on, man. This
Mm-hmm.
was this was buffoonery at best. I mean,
That bad.
this was a show. I mean, for real, everybody should have just pulled up. In the words of Shannon, pull up, get you some popcorn.
But
Yeah.
I wonder what that dating was like, what that dating
Right,
phase looked like. Like, how is it
right,
that you don't like? Because it's not like she didn't know that
right,
that was among his interests. Like,
No,
right.
yeah, she know.
golfing, having a couple of beers with the guys, being a member of the Proud Boys. Like, that's
That's
kind
it.
of like,
A lot of times they know. Just like a lot of them, they know when they man cheating. They already know when they cheating.
Oh, come on,
But the
King.
fact that he got the money,
Come
the
on, and
fact that he got the money, they ain't
guarantee.
saying a word.
Come on, and that's
Mm.
what they say. They say black women marry white men because of security.
They
It's the only
know.
reason. It's because of
Yeah.
security. Like, you
Swirls,
know,
the swirls.
Oh yeah, that's a squirrel.
what?
Yeah, that's a squirrel. Jungle
Yeah,
fever. Jungle fever.
okay for security. Like, but still though, like, how secure are you? Like, they're storming the Capitol against you, silly. Like, that's
Mhm.
against you.
yeah,
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like,
I can't make it make sense.
I can't make it
Yeah.
make
That.
sense. I was appalled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The overall thing with that is it's. I'm just not fooled by the foolishness. Like
come
I don't
on,
know.
teach
It's
me.
like when it comes down to this government, this I call it Babylon, modern day Babylon. They experiment on everything. Everything is an
Yep.
experiment, you know. So it's crazy. Aaron was talking about movies. I would suggest a lot of people go back and look at those Planet of the Apes movies and the fears of the people versus the
Mm-hmm.
apes, because
Uh-huh.
I
Yep.
personally believe for the most part that's the same fear that this rulership, because people want to say supremacy, but rulership, and in rulership you look after your people. So
Hmm.
for all the history that we don't know about our culture, they know. So
Mm-hmm.
Right.
that's why they're so apprehensive when they see us growing, when they see us looking like we're gaining an upper hand on them in any way, because they know history that we don't
Communicating,
know about.
connecting.
Yes, yes. They think that we have no idea about ourselves, how we started, and they know it. And so
Right.
to me, this is a reflex of what they know and what we don't know.
Teach.
So we have to get away from this thinking that our culture, our history started on slavery, because we ourselves were in rulership.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's too much history out there to act like we weren't a part of any of it. We had a monumental piece in this thing, and so when it comes down to it, if you just
Teach
look as
King.
close as to the museum artifacts and different things like that, chipping noses off of things and stuff to hide the fact that it looks like features of a
Hmm.
so-called black man, they have hidden history that they know
Oh,
about us.
most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So we
Yep.
a lot of times when a person knows that their little lives and games and different things are falling apart, they go
Oof.
into
Frantic.
even making it work, even at work,
Yeah.
making it worse by trying to hide more stuff because they fear that we're coming. That's all it
Backpedal
is. They
ugly.
fear we're coming.
Mm-hmm. It was
They know we
a
coming.
teacher that had
Hmm.
said something about that, about how like we're given this narrative that when black people were slaves and the slaves is enslaved, like there's no such thing as slaves or the slaves. We were people who were
Hmm.
Right.
enslaved.
Right.
Slavery is a condition, not a people.
Okay.
And that's the power in how words can really
Teach.
color just even how you feel about yourself. So you think that, oh yeah, my bloodline is from slave. No, it's
And,
not.
how you feel
No, no, we were always people.
That's
right.
and I'm glad you said that, because
Yes. Yes.
it's been proven that slave word, it goes in correlation to Slavic. That's connected to them. That's not connected to us. Slavic slave, Slavic slave. That has nothing to do with our people.
Right.
Now,
Right.
we had slaves ourselves.
Yeah.
They won't tell you that though.
True.
People don't know enough of that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
we have to dig.
Come
We
on.
have to
Let's
dig
teach.
for the information, and we have to find out the truth
Because they
and
were
stop.
usually prisoners of war and things like that. Like we were all from tribe. Like Africa was tribal.
Like it wasn't countries, it wasn't all, it was tribal. And when you went to war with another tribe, if the other tribe lost, their warriors became slaves, and then their people became your people.
Yeah. They took your wife
Yep.
and they took your
But
money,
not
all
but
that.
not as slaves. They became citizens of the new
Yeah.
tribe,
Right.
and the warriors were the only slaves because they were the ones that could overthrow them. So to keep them in an oppressed position to not be able to overthrow them, they became the
Yeah.
slaves and
Yeah.
they were in bondage. But
Okay.
the families weren't. They didn't do that. Like that was a whole new thing that the Europeans came and were
Come on, sis.
taking women and children as slaves and as workers because they
Yes.
Come on.
wanted the
Yeah.
most they wanted the most longevity out of them. So
Yeah.
yeah, the men were big and strong,
Yep.
but they were
Yep.
also older and they were
Yeah.
also harder to
Come
break.
on.
So they
Yeah.
broke the men
Come
by
on.
enslaving their families
Mhm.
and separating them
Yep.
from their families.
Yes.
And so
Yes. Come on. And
that is what is embedded in our DNA, our history, we have PTSD, we have historical PTSD, which is why we have
Peace.
so many broken homes because it's like, oh, the men were always taken from the homes. They didn't
Come on,
leave by
sis.
choice. And
Come on
now it's
now.
like they feel like now that they have a choice, now they're going to do it. But it's like, no, you still don't really have a choice because you can't tell me that you can go off and live a fully happy
Mm.
life knowing that you have a family
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yep.
Can't.
knowing that
Facts.
you
There's no
have
way you
seeds
can.
that you are not taking care of, that is not getting the
Come on.
benefit of your guidance, of your love. You can't tell me
Yeah.
that you
Come
are
on.
living your best life with children that are not in your homes. You can't
That's
tell me
facts.
that. I'm
Ooh.
not gonna
Teach.
believe it.
Yep.
You
That's
know, you
facts.
know where
Yep.
that's I was talking to a young lady the other day, and she was asking me, she was like, how did the division between the black man and the black woman come about? Like she asked me this, she a black woman herself, but she asked me this because she really didn't know. So I was trying to educate her. I was like, really, I was like, it goes all the way back to slavery. But when we want to come to right here in America, we can go to what, the 70s, and that's when she picked it up. So
Oh.
oh yeah, the 70s with the feminist movement act, and then welfare came down the line, and black women was able to start getting welfare because as we know, that wasn't even for black people from the get-go. That was for white people. But they started
Exactly.
letting them
Right.
get the
So true.
welfare, and then when they started getting the welfare, they said, "Well, the Negro, he can't be in the house with you. We got to get the Negro
Stipulation.
out. If you're gonna get this money, we got to get you out." Which means the government was pimping our black women.
Yeah.
All right, but you know what?
Trade,
Go
trade,
ahead.
trade your man, trade your black man for white daddy. That's what it is. Simple as
For
that.
and no, and it wasn't just
And
the money
I
they
want to
were peddling. They
that.
were
I
peddling
want to get
security.
to that.
You had guaranteed
Yes.
income every month. That's
Mhm.
what they were peddling. They were peddling money because we worked for our money. People still
Mhm.
had jobs and were on welfare.
Come on.
They were
Come
peddling
on.
security, which is different. You can't tell me, oh, I'm gonna give you X amount of dollars every month, but you can't. No, because I'm like, well, then that just means if we both have jobs, we don't need the money. So it wasn't the
Facts.
money.
That's right.
Mhm.
Come
Yep.
on,
Mm.
sis. Come
Well,
on.
well, all right, you know what? Thank y'all for tuning in. At this time, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Yay.
Rock Truth got merch, y'all. Who is your true north? Who holds you down so you'll always know where you are? God, the original true north, the original point of reference. Check out our clothing line, True North, at rocktruth2.com for your kingdom culture needs. Everything from tees to sweats, men's, women's, and kids' sizes. Inez Essentials Whipped Body Butter has a wide assortment of 8-ounce body butter made with unrefined shea and mango butter, infused with vitamin E oil, coconut oil, sweet almond oil, natural mica powder, and fragrant essential oils. It is designed to heal and moisturize dry skin, and it is perfect for the whole family. Our whipped shea butter is handcrafted with a blend of natural and organic ingredients. The unicorn body butter can be customized to the scent of your choice. If a scent is not chosen, no scent will be added. Have you been searching for a custom home decor and crafts? Check out Delicious Designs. For more information, simply search Della Williamson on Facebook. Are you in need of advertisement or marketing tools? Branded in his image prints, logos, flyers. Contact us today. Rock True Prints is ready to serve your printing and designing needs. We offer a full array of marketing tools, logos, flyers, business cards, video ads, and website designs. If you need our services for prints, we got you there too. Contact us at rocktruthradio@gmail.com for more information.
Inez Body Butter.
Hey,
Inez Body Butter by Doc Ock.
that body butter is everything. Yes. Ooh, I like that little comment you posting in the chat, and I want to get in a little bit on before we went on commercial that conversation.
Oh,
Not sure we're shifting.
forfeit the wombs. Ooh.
Did we open the phone lines? Let's go ahead and post the phone lines so that we know that they're open. But you were right, and when you're talking about white daddy and taking away the security that the black man represented for women. And so I was listening to I think his name is Stephen Darby, and he was talking about how they shamed the black men. They like you were saying, like they broke him down. And so in front of the women and the children, they beat him. They would strip him down. They would even take away his manhood, so that it showed that he's good enough to protect the children, but he couldn't protect you. And so this what made the women now run to the master, who was providing the food, providing the shelter, providing their need for the most part. So they no longer have no need for the black man, and they turn to white man, or the oppressor for everything. And the only thing that the black man became good for was the seed. But we don't need you. And that's the attitude that the modern woman, and black women especially, has taken upon. You have adapted their ideologies, and that's why we're asking, where you get this from?
They also turned the black man gay too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why I tell people, they're like, oh, they said the white man keeping me down. No, they don't have to anymore. They don't have to do anything to us anymore, because the seeds already been planted. They've been watering it for hundreds of years, and now we're walking around with these trees of lies and this mess, and we're the ones that's continuing to sow and perpetuate those seeds. We're not. They don't need to do anything to us anymore.
True.
Come on,
because we're helping them along.
Yeah. And to piggyback what Mary said, it's more than just running to the slave master, but the picture, the vivid, bloody picture of seeing what's happening to your man, your protection. To see that picture, now clutching your child, saying it will never have a mind. So that makes you run to all the other avenues, because you know what happened to your man. That'll never happen to my children. So you do whatever you have to do.
Come on.
Put them through that system, that educational system, because all these educational systems are indoctrination. They're not education stations. They're indoctrination stations.
Yeah.
So you better be reteaching. When your children get home from school, you have to be teaching them again. You have to be going through what they learned and reteach them some more. Because by the time that they're ferried, they would love to put you on a ferry boat, ferry you right to a university, and that university is a grove where they're waiting for you with fraternities and sororities and all kind of things to teach you their demonic worship. So you have to be ready for all of that, but you can't be when you don't understand what happened.
Yes, you have to, like, for real. Like, if you like, even when I went to college, and this was like the beginning, so I want to say, let's just go to 2004. We can just do 2004. I graduated in 2000. So when I was in college, I noted, I want to say it was when I was back at Purdue, and I noted that in their books, they had changed from 2000 or 3000, whatever the time frame, but they stopped saying because before Christ, and they changed it to before the common era and
Era,
after the
right.
common era. And I'm
Right,
like,
right.
now, wait a minute. Everybody knew this was before. We said this is cool forever, before Christ, after death, or whatever. Like, we knew this. So how did you come and change it when we get to college? Y'all got whole agenda of what's what, and then tell us that, oh, okay, be open, be free to everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you said, it's indoctrination station.
Yes.
I love that like no other. And you have to be
Well, see,
prepared to reteach your children.
yes. See, the thing is with college, and that's why you have to be careful. You really have to be in tune spiritually with God. And in my studying, I've come across that in the scriptures talking about the groves. Well, you fast forward that to now. When you go to most universities, what do you see in the middle of these universities? Almost in everywhere you go, you see all the green stuff, all the trees, there's always these sections of that stuff.
The
And so
quad.
then when you apply that to Mother Earth, because that's who's supposed to be worshipped in Babylon, now you're talking about the mother
Mhm.
goddess, and you go so far as to call what does everybody call their school when they graduate? Their alma
Alma
mater. You're
mater.
talking about
Oh.
who you
Other
learn.
mama.
Right.
So all that stuff, people have no idea. Just even the setup of universities, it there are groves to, what I'm saying, indoctrinate you with that foolishness, put you into on that assembly line. When you come out of college, you already got debt, so now you're stuck in a
Mhm.
system.
Oh.
We
Come on,
have to be
come on.
spiritually
Or you think you're stuck.
in tune. Yeah,
Right,
you have
sis.
to be spiritually in tune and understand how Babylon is moving, so you can teach your children
Yeah,
how to maneuver around that stuff. And that's one of the reasons
yeah.
why I'm encouraging my boys to take trades when they get up in age, because
Hmm.
if you're gonna go to
That's
school,
it.
it's gonna
That's the way to go.
add something else to yourself. You want to go to school, but when you go to school, you're gonna be already a ready-made man. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
that way that they set you up with that first initial hit of that, that's what it's all about. And they hope that you're distracted off of all that foolishness going on, the parties, the people pledged to the death of themselves to these sororities and fraternities. You have no idea the Greek mythology attached to that foolishness. You know what I'm saying? But you're thinking about fun and you're worried about this. Listen, that's the biggest thing about becoming an adult is accepting the monotony of life. It's time
And that's
over
what it
for
is.
all that fun and all that different stuff
hmm,
like that. Because some people never survive the fun. They never come back from it.
my
So you have to
Lord.
be
That, I
Yep.
careful.
mean, you
And
need to
that's what
say,
it is.
yeah, they never survive the fun. That that's
Mhm.
that's that's just another way of kind of looking at
Hmm.
something that kind of opened up a lot. It is people who never survive the fun.
Mhm.
My
Hmm.
God.
Mhm.
They get they
Yeah,
get
you
they
have.
get stuck right there.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I
And
mean,
that, that
and it's people that never make it to college, that
mm,
don't even really make it through high school and stuff like that, and they're cogs in the wheels as well. Like, they're stuck
Right,
in some
right.
job that they've been at for 20, 30 years, that now they're getting laid off from, with no type of severance, pension, retirement,
Yeah.
nothing. Like, they have nothing to show for the 20 or 30 years of their life that they've poured into this company, probably made them millions of dollars and all of that, and they have nothing to show for it for themselves. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
like, and that's crazy. Like, that should be an eye opener. Like, that's what made
Yeah.
me quit my job, because I was sitting there and I
Come on, sis.
knew all that I wanted to do for my career, for myself, and I was seeing roadblocks. Everything that I tried to do in that accompanied what I was already doing as my job. I wasn't not doing my job, but I knew there were other things that I needed to do for myself so that I wouldn't be stuck in that job, in that position, doing the
Mhm.
same thing 10 years later, 15 years later, hoping and praying. And then, I have, a manager that's coming to me trying to get me to act a certain way or dress a certain way or be a certain way, because she
Come
says
on,
that's
sis.
what my opportunities are tied to. And I said, my
Come on.
opportunities aren't tied to how I look or how I dress. Like, yeah, they may be white people and you may even think that they're racist. That's fine. But what one thing that does trump racism is money. And I'm saving them a ton of money because I do my job.
Right.
So that right there is gonna get me in the door. The
Yeah.
work I do, not
The
how I
work.
look.
Supposed
If I
supposedly.
understand that I need to change something to get into a certain other space, I'll do that when I get there. But right now, I don't work in a space that requires that. And I
Right.
want them to understand that if I do move forward with your company, in your company, we're going to be doing this together, and it's going to be on my terms, because I'm not compromising who I am or what I do
Come on
for a
now.
job.
And we never
Come on
had
now.
It's not that deep. I'll figure it
Yes,
out. Don't
bring your
worry. And I
special.
chunk the deuces
Come on,
on my
sis.
off day.
What? Check up them dudes.
Come on now.
What?
Yep.
And you're right.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
You're
some
right.
people they compromise for little. You know, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the
And
littlest
they
thing they
still barely
compromise.
getting by, and they didn't compromise everything. They didn't change their hair, they
Everything.
didn't change the way they
Come on
talk, they
now.
don't wear the same clothes, and then a lot of
No.
times, like, you can't afford to have a double life. You can't afford to have your authentic life outside of
Yes.
work and your work life,
Woo.
Come on.
because they don't pay you enough to do that. So all the money you spending on work clothes, you can't spend to actually show your authentic style, to actually express yourself, your own being. So
Mhm.
now you skinning and skimping, or you struggling and doing all of this for somebody else who don't care about you. They
Come
don't care
on.
about the amount of time that goes into work. If you have a job, if you have a 9 to 5 that you have to get up and go to, you're spending more than 8 hours there. Because what are you doing before work? You're getting ready for work. What are you doing the night before work?
Yep.
You're getting ready for work. What are you doing on the way to work? You on the way to work. What are you doing
Right.
coming
All
from
this
work?
working.
You coming from work. What do you do once you get home? You're winding down from work.
Work.
And then
Yep.
what are you doing? And after a few hours, you're getting ready for work again, because you know you got to go to bed at a certain hour so you can get back up
Become a
to
slave
go
to that
back
job.
to work.
Come
You're
on,
working more than 8 hours for that job. You're
Yep.
giving them more than 8. They're only paying
Everything.
you for 8 hours. They're
Yep.
not paying you for the time you're actually giving them.
No, they're not.
And when you understand that, when you actually value your time, you will not let them tell you who to be, how to be, when to be it. And if they require you to be that in their company, find you another job. If you have to work for somebody else, find a job that allows you to be you and actually encourages your personal growth.
You know,
That
wait.
it actually in their best interest for you to grow as an individual. If they're not supporting that, then they're not even trying to support their own growth. They're
Yeah.
shooting themselves in the foot. If you have unhappy workers, guess what? You have low productivity, you
That's
have
it.
low revenue, you don't have innovative ideas, so you can't keep up when the market is changing, because
Listen.
you have all these unhappy people that can't wait to get up out of there, so they're not
Mm-mm.
going to stay and do, like, if the stuff hit the fan, guess who's not staying? Your workers.
Yep.
Listen. And put all of that, the way that you're saying all of that. Now let's apply that to relationships.
I was just about to.
To that marriage. That's
Cause
I was just about to say it.
low production rate. She was clear. Do you understand who goes without? Everybody. 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 Okay? Sis.
Yep.
See?
I was just gonna say that I think that's part of why a lot of couples have problems in their relationship, because you spending all these hours at the job, and when you come back home, what you gonna give each other? You ain't already got nothing to give each other because you didn't gave it to your boss.
and you
Yep.
come in with the
And that.
attitude from what you had to
Yep.
deal with at work. Like, oh,
Come
you'll
on.
never guess how they had. This is what you coming home with every night. It's not,
Every
oh, I'm
night.
so glad to see you. Oh, I'm so
Right.
happy to be here.
Yeah.
No, it's these people. They got me messed up. And then that's all you talk about for the
I'm
next 2 or
tired.
3 hours.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And I ain't got
Right.
time for this. I'm so sorry. Did you not realize you had a whole job before you left here?
Oh.
You had a whole job before you left here. So okay. So
And
somewhere
and
along the line,
that's actually your work.
that is
Come
your
on.
Actually your work.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
I have to share with you what Dr. Miles Monroe said about what Doc said. Everything she just said made me reflect to something I heard the late great Dr. Miles Monroe break this whole thing down about how you use your job as just a way to have discipline, because God has allowed you to have that thing for discipline, but when you come home, you shouldn't be worn out. You shouldn't be spent, because you got your real work, because you can't fire a bird from flying.
Come on now.
You might be able to take some things from the bird, but you can't fire a bird from flying. So there's a thing in you that nobody can fire you from, and when you come home from your job, now you're supposed to invest into your work. That's your family, your children, whatever your craft is. What Doc was just talking about made me understand I need to get my book finished, because I started it. It's got to get finished, because I can't be too tired to finish those projects. You know what I'm saying? Because
Teach. Okay.
the richest place on the earth is the grave, is the cemetery. There's so
Oh.
much unfinished stuff that gets there. So much unfinished stuff that goes there because we're too tired, because we're too worn out. And so
Come on.
now, after we put all these years and we do retire, we retire just to die, and we went to the grave and never fulfilled our purpose. But we're always tired.
Always
So
tired.
we definitely, you definitely knocking on the nerve with that one. You
Oh,
definitely
yes, you are.
all back with that
Yes,
one.
you are.
Tired trying to accomplish somebody else's plan.
Exactly.
Come on.
You going to work day in and day out to make someone else a fortune. What did Uncle Jimmy say? I like Jim Rohn. He came with nothing but
Oh,
fire,
Jim
straight
Rohn. I
fire.
like Jim
Oh
Rohn.
yeah, and he was a man of faith.
Yeah, I
Definitely
listen to
deep
Jim
in his
Rohn.
faith. And he said you can work. What is that? Part time. What is that on your fortune?
Mhm.
When you invest in yourself, you can invest in yourself part time, and that can earn you a fortune. Just part
Right.
time.
It's part time.
Just reading a couple of books. Get you 30 minutes a day in, 15 minutes of some audio or something. Whatever you actually want to study. If you want to go into real estate, get you some real estate books.
Yeah.
Link up with real estate agents
Come on now.
because they know the game. Yeah, they gonna know something that's not in them books. I'm not
Yes.
even a real estate agent. I know plenty of real estate agents, and I done got some gems off of them.
Yes.
So, like,
Yes.
get around the people, get in the spaces that you want to eventually go to, because that's how you get in those spaces. I heard it was a convention. Go to the convention. Well, I got to work at. Well, go to the convention for as long as you can, and then go to work.
That's
Get
it.
off work and go directly to the convention. It don't matter how you show up, just get there.
Right.
Why you
What's
worried about how people
excuses?
gonna think about how you looking and stuff there? You got something to do. You have a job and
It's
you
called
have
the Stillaway
a vision.
program.
You said it's called the what program?
It's the Stillaway program. Still away. Still away. Come on, we still away. We still away from the plantation. Come on now.
Yes.
And but that's it. And that's what you do. You like you said, still away a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there. Instead of taking your breaks and eating lunch, study.
Again,
Instead
talking
of
about
driving down the street to McDonald's, that
Come
takes
on.
a whole lunch break to do that. To go and
Listen.
eat your
Come on.
trash.
your
You eating
convention
garbage.
Come
over
Make
on.
your
your lunch and
appetite.
take it to work,
Come
and
on,
then
sis.
don't sit at your desk. Get up
Yes.
and get away from your desk. Go
Yes.
sit outside if it's warm, if it's nice. Sit by a window or something. Get away from your desk. Eat your homemade lunch
Yes.
Home
and read you a book.
Wife from your wife.
again from your wife, or you cooked it as the wife. You
Right.
make your homemade, because what you are is a manager of this home. So going out and fast food all the time, you're
No,
taking
eat you
away
some love.
from resources when you're supposed to be helping to add to or properly allocate them so that you guys don't go without. Like for real, you talk, man. You talking real.
And you actually taking more from the household by going and constantly eating that fast food. Because guess what's gonna happen? Your health is gonna end up faltering.
Come
You're gonna
on.
end up having to take time off from work because
T.
guess what? Now you're sick.
Yep.
Think you wouldn't normally get sick because you were probably healthier at one point. You
Come
were
on,
younger.
Come on.
As you get older, guess what? Your immune system is gonna get older too. And if you're not taking care of your body, you're gonna start to slowly decline, and then your productivity is gonna go down. You're not gonna get them raises and bonuses like you used to. If your job encompasses that, you're not gonna be able to take the overtime that you was doing because guess what? Now you're physically incapable of doing that because you really are tired.
Will said the McRib still smack.
Eating that mystery meat. Leave that mystery meat where it's at.
Hold on, because it was another conversation. You were like using our women as pawns, they forfeit their wombs and their youth. Now expound on that before
True.
Well, basically,
you get on that. That's
you
a
know,
mouthful of everything.
Yes, because it goes back to what Doc was mentioning earlier in the initial start of the conversation. We tend to waste our time out here in these streets, so to speak. You know, when you think about just the first, when you think about the 20 years from 15 to 35, you know, those are crucial years for a man, for a young lady. but the time clock is different. The biggest thing that man is trying to establish when he's in his 20s, he's trying to establish his foundation. He's trying to there's financial things going on through there. There's learning, there's spiritual growth and connection with the creator. You're getting close to your purpose during that time, so that by the time you're at least about 35, you went through enough life to step into the transition, make the transition of father and husband, because being that having that title means that you are not just covering, not just the priest of your home, not just a husbandman, but not just a husband, but also a teacher. But you can't teach anything unless you've been through some experiences in life to pass the wisdom. With the
Right.
young woman, she is there. There goes focus on her physique. There goes focus on her beauty. There goes focus on her looks. Why? Because on the negative side, you got all these outlets, pumping and priming and reaching out for her base aspect because it wants her to be ratchet. It wants her to quote unquote liberate herself. You can jump out here and you can have sex with everybody and you can give up all your youth, the things that are most important to
Right.
a man, because God made you and put you here to be a help to us and an extension to us and an extra set of eyes and love. And
Come
that's how
on.
a man also humbles himself and submits to his wife because we trust your extra set of eyes. But we can't do that if
Mm,
you're not in the position.
mm,
We can't do
mm.
that if your youth is gone. Your womb has been imprinted all your 20s. Your womb has been imprinted
My
all your
Lord.
30s. And then once you've been out here and you've been dating around instead of dating intention for marriage, a goal.
See,
Now you think you can come out of the men have sat back and watched how fervently and how intently you've went after a degree, how intently you've chased a PhD.
come
And now
on.
when you're nearing 40, you don't have the energy. Let's go back to that tired, fatigued, and all that stuff from the job. You are now
That's
fatigued
brother
to even
teaching.
have, and your dating muscle has atrophied because you have not utilized it. And
No.
you think you can just jump out of college, jump out of your course, jump out from your career, and you just gonna come out here and be able to communicate with these men. And
Oh,
when it doesn't work, you blame it on the men like always and say they're trash and dating itself is trash. So you have lost your communication. Your muscle it has forgot how to work. You have atrophy.
Come
So
on.
we have to be careful. The young ladies have to be careful with how they waste their youth out here trying to be loyal to
True. True.
their
come
girlfriend.
on.
And if you have a child, you see it all the time when they post it on Facebook. Their name, the actual avatar will say Johnny's mother. This person's mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're supposed to be somebody's wife. You're supposed to be somebody's
Oh,
wife. You're supposed to be honoring somebody, but you've atrophied and you've
well,
used up your
Johnny.
and if you've never gotten married because you're supposed to marry before you carry, you've wasted
Come on.
your womb on all these different baby daddies, and now you set yourself up and giving yourself a criminal
Man,
record.
this dude
And
teaching.
they're looking at the white facts and saying, hey, he's been in her,
He
he's
teaching.
dealt with her, that's where your womb is no use to a man now. So now he's got to search for younger or even sometimes outside of his own race because his woman has been programmed to not even deal with the black man. We got to
Bars.
And the truth is to not love,
Bars.
because that's what happens. The bitterness eats up whatever love could have been there, whatever love could have crept in, and then it not only blocks the love that you can give to others unconditionally, because that is the love that you're supposed to be giving, especially to your husband, is
hmm
unconditional love. But it blocks the love that you have for yourself. And
hmm
as I was saying on your live earlier, like how people treat each other and how they act says more about how they feel about themselves and how they feel about you. People will treat you in a manner that it shows how much they respect themselves. I don't disrespect other people because I don't disrespect myself. And I
Yes.
also don't want to be in a
See,
position where
yep,
people feel like it's okay to
yep,
disrespect me.
Mm.
So when I treat other
yep.
people with respect, they already are in a space of respect. So it's hard not to give that back. It's easy to reflect something the same. You can reflect the same very quickly. If I give attitude, it's easy to give attitude back. If someone gives me an attitude and I smile at them, I say, I hope you have a better day. They're gonna be like, huh? What just happened?
Right.
Because they weren't
Right.
expecting that. Because
They
I
don't.
responded with love instead of the
Yes.
attitude that they gave me.
Yes.
People don't
Yes.
expect love. And then when you give
Don't,
someone
sis.
love that's not expecting it, guess what? They don't accept it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if all these bitter people out here, men and women, because they've given all of themselves to all of the wrong things and didn't take the time to heal from all of the pains. You have to
Oh.
heal with love. You have to heal with the
Yes,
intention of
sis.
being able to give love. And the only way you can do that is to learn how to love yourself. Because
Yeah.
guess what? When you get with someone, they're not going to know how to love you. You have to
Yes.
absolutely teach them how you want to be loved because they know how to
Yeah.
love themselves. They
Come
don't know
on.
how to love you. So
Sis,
sitting up here all quiet, well, you should know. No,
nope.
tell them they're not
I,
a mind reader.
I'm not a
True.
psychic. Nope.
I
Exactly.
Talking
Not.
about
When you
I'm
don't
not
use your
psychic.
words, they
psychic.
Yep.
don't know.
Yep.
And
We
you
See?
have
need
to
to.
assume that they don't know.
I had a
Right.
woman tell me, that I'm supposed to be in charge of her feelings and emotions. Talking about when you see me all emotional and stuff, you supposed to be able to handle that. You supposed to
That's what
come and work with that and get me together.
The only
I was-
thing you're
That's
supposed to
war.
say
you
is,
need to handle it.
I
That's
noticed your
war
mood is
talk.
shifted. Are you okay? Do you want to
That's
talk?
war talk
That's the
already. That's
only
I
war
was
thing
talk.
like, you
that
don't
you
want
can
me to
do for
get you
her.
together because I can get you together. It ain't
Yeah.
gonna be how you
Yeah.
want me to. I can get you together. But
That's
Okay?
you talking
You
about
gonna do
some,
it how you know how to do it.
yeah, talking
Yep.
about
That
some,
don't mean that that's how she gonna want it done.
yeah, talking about some when I'm in my feelings, you supposed to be able to handle me. No, number one, you don't even need to be getting out of your feelings like that.
Right.
Exactly.
Especially if you up under me, why you in your feelings?
Right.
Why?
That's
Why?
that. That's that war talk, man.
Yeah,
And at
yeah.
the end of the day, because the man is the reflection of God. Every way that you look at how God's supposed to be, that's how the man's supposed to be in the natural.
God.
So we are actually your Lord. Your husband should be your Lord. He
He
is. You should
came
extend him. So at the
to
end
I'm
of
in
the
church,
day, yes,
y'all. I'm in
yes,
church.
yes. The man is actually supposed to set the temperature of his house,
Most
but he ain't.
definitely.
Oh,
He ain't
oh,
but he's not. But he's not Delta Airlines. He's not Delta Airlines, so he's not supposed to carry your baggage and all that different stuff and
okay.
clean up all the imprint that you have. He's not supposed to do all that. You gonna stress that man out. You already spoiled, so now you make him sick because he drinking spoiled milk. That ain't how that's
All
supposed
of
to
that.
happen.
Come on.
All of that.
That's why I have to let these ladies know. Ain't nobody about to spoil y'all. Y'all need to throw them words in the trash. I'll shower
Most
you.
definitely.
Period.
Most definitely. But
But we ain't about
And
to
my
spoil
thing
they too
is,
nothing.
busy watching
they're
Love
not
and Hip
even
Hop.
spoiling themselves. Like these are like you can't expect someone to, like I said, to love you the way you don't love yourself. If you're not taking yourself out to dinner, if
I
you're
can't.
not getting your hair and your nails
I'm
done,
going
if
to the
you're
hospital.
not doing all these nice little outings and nights and stuff like that for yourself by yourself, you shouldn't have to be with someone to do any of those
T,
things. After I broke up with my
T,
ex, that's what I did. I finally took the
good.
time to learn how to
Mm.
love
Yes,
myself, and
Lord.
that was the
Oh,
best experience I have
mastering
ever had.
singleness.
I
Mastering singleness.
absolutely enjoyed being alone. I went to movies by myself.
Come
I
on.
didn't have to wait on somebody like,
That's
well,
deep.
do you want to see this? And I didn't have to do none of that. I just
You
went
open
up. I
up
was
the
like, okay, I'm
doors
gonna
for
see that.
yourself.
And I came
Go.
out the movie theater. I was like, I got time. I can see another one. And I
I
went and I
did.
saw
Right.
my
I
other one
Right.
that I
went.
couldn't decide on.
Take care of yourself.
Got all my popcorn. I
Yeah.
had my little
Gotta be whole.
nachos and
Gotta
my
be whole.
pop and all of that. Yes.
Yes, whole. Whole is the key. Like you're saying, whole is the key. And I always just profess mastering singleness. That's the very first
Yep.
relationship you need to master. You.
Mhm.
You need a
Yep.
degree in you. You should have been studying you. This is when you talk about get the log out your eye. You need to get all
Yeah.
the logs. And I
Yep.
don't call them boogers in your nose. As soon as you feel
Yep.
like you just put your nose out, I promise you, Jesus got another booger. He found one. Because you
Yes.
ain't as
Yes.
far as you think you are. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like
Yep.
real. And oh my God, everything that you're saying, everything all of you guys are saying, I am with Will. I have lost hands. I have found a new set just to climb.
Hey,
Like,
hey,
Let me
hey,
say this real.
Will.
Oh.
Hey, Will got me dying trying to hold in laughter. I just want to say that.
That's all he do all day in the comments. Just clap.
Let me say this real quick. I know women that won't get their hair and nails did unless a man give them the money to do it.
Man,
Exactly.
listen. Come on, man.
Why?
do it.
Like what?
Man.
Like why? And like I said, that should be a red flag to any man, because guess what she's not gonna do for you? Everything.
Yep.
She's not gonna, anything that she does, it has to have some type of benefit for her.
For her.
There
now
there
you're
is no unconditional love coming out of a person like that, because they
No.
can't even love themselves unconditionally.
Yeah.
No, sis.
And that's the
No.
difference between 50-50, a corporation, and an actual relationship.
Come on, King. Now he going.
Now you're over here you're causing yourself to be a project to the person that's really working in the relationship versus
We don't do
I'm glad you
projects.
used that word.
We don't do projects
You know?
around here.
We don't. Projects wear you down. We don't need it.
Right.
We working together in this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You know, too many are wanting you. A lot of times where somebody in the relationship is willing to really, really work, and the other person just wants to attain assets, and that's when it ends. It's no problem for that person to sit in court and watch that judge just divide your assets and give her a severance package for and a reward for breaking up the relationship, and it's just foolishness. It's foolishness. We gotta work. We gotta be willing to work for our marriages and relationships.
Yep.
By the time we get there, you know,
and that's why you need to check them trees for the fruit first before you go trying to latch yourself to it, because you're gonna be looking crazy expecting figs, and you get some lemons. You're like, hold on, I can't eat this. This ain't sustenance.
You gotta check the white facts and the husband facts. You gotta check it.
Got
to check.
Got to see what that blue book value talking about, because sometimes that blue book value be low for real. Low. Old girl, I'm gonna tell you about old girl that was talking about her mama. I remember she told me like right before we really I was like, we calling it quits. I'm done with you. She talking about my sister. She did start bringing her sister into the conversation, because really she was the youngest.
Threesome going on, huh?
Wait, she was the youngest. She was the youngest, and all her sisters, because they didn't have no brothers. So it was all women. They didn't have no brothers. It was her mama. Her mama was a single mom, and she took care of all the girls. So she then wanted to tell me, well, my sister, when you came over the other day, because I think that was the first time I met her sister. She told me, well, my sister said you look like the type of man that's gonna run off and mess around with other women anyway. I'm like, what do that look like? What does that look like?
What do that look? Somebody
else got one I thought didn't look like that, and that's exactly what he was doing. So make it make sense.
But I'm just saying though, this is what she said. I was like, all right, okay, we done. Talking about you look like the type you might have, you might mess around with somebody else. I'm like, okay. I'm like, but what do you think though? I'm like, we ain't even gonna talk about God, your sisters, or nobody. What do you think?
That's stank energy. That's stank energy.
Why would you even bring it to me?
Yeah, no. She should have shut her sister down. Like, first of all, mind your business. And then that's the end of the conversation. Have a nice day, sis.
Or the issue with love and hip hop and stuff like that. Did you want to expound on that? Like where we're getting these concepts and ideologies from?
Talking to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Brother Dwayne, King Dwayne, he was making a statement earlier, and I was saying that's who is guiding some of these ladies. You know what I'm saying? They sit and watching Love and Hip Hop. Back in the day when I was in college, you know what the ladies used to do a lot? They used to read Cosmopolitan, talking about some. Hey, you know what happened in Cosmopolitan the other
and
day?
taking them quizzes.
Yeah, talking about this. I'm like, you really letting this govern how you think about certain things. Then what was big back then too? Flavor Flav, you know what I mean? So when Flav come out with,
he's the one that started all of them.
Yeah, talking about some New York smack Flavor Flav, and I'ma smack you. Like, hey. We're not doing the smacking around here.
Flag on the play.
You know what, Ty? Not to interrupt you, but I have to share a link with you guys.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if you've ever watched Kevin Samuels, the image consultant. He actually shared the video where older white woman, after she's finally left Cosmopolitan, she's whistleblown. Now she's fined God. She started to whistleblow about how they were purposely literally using that magazine to program our women to
Yes.
sell products. To sell products. And
Yep,
these
because
were
it's
women that were
man.
married. These were women writing this book and over this magazine that were
Yeah.
married 50 and 60 years, but telling single women to be liberated and be sexing with everybody.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so this has trickled down to our women now because they
Yeah.
never let that mentality go. And so this goes to what I said before.
And they
Garden of
never talked
Eden,
about how it didn't work out for them. Because
and the
I
thing,
mean, it's
and
the experience. Like if I had heard
yeah,
even a snippet of that, I could have saved myself a whole lot of trouble and
yeah, yeah,
heartache.
yes,
Right.
because I've shared with Mary before, you know, they it's not a cliche when they say there's nothing new under the sun. It's true, nothing new.
Come on.
The Garden
Come
of Eden and the principles that were happening in the Garden of Eden, that whole back and forth, serpent and Eve, all that, that's still going on today. As a
Yeah.
woman, you guys are receivers all the way down to anatomy. And when a
Yeah.
man understands that, he can be a proper husband man, not just a husband, but he needs to be a husband man as well. What that means is master of the soil. He's learned to master putting seed into his woman.
Teach,
Now
King.
you're
Come on,
going
that's
to
it.
get now that you've mastered,
We
you
sowing
using
seed
your life
around here.
to now that you're using your life to master how to sow into her. You can't complain what you get
And,
back. Cause see, a woman naturally
and
incubates.
not just the in between the leg soil, the
Yes, but
Come
and
Most
spiritually,
definitely. Most definitely.
and that's what I'm getting to. Because a woman is a natural receiver and antenna. You're always receiving stuff, and you're
Oh yeah.
always bringing stuff to us. When you
and we
receive something,
can
get happy
synthesize
stuff.
that stuff so quick and be like, oh, you told me this the
Exactly.
other week and I found this, so
Yes.
boom, here you go, babe.
Yes.
Come
And
on.
that's why media, that's why if you know what you're paying attention to, you understand media is the serpent today, and you are who they want, woman of God.
Come on.
You
That's
are
it.
the one who they won't penetrate so they can
Yes.
get every bit of drop
Come
of
on.
man, of the money. It's to
Come
stop
on.
everything that went on in the Garden of Eden was to stop the seed of the man, to taint the seed of the man. It's still happening today. It's
It's
still
time to sow
happening today.
seed, y'all.
They want your children. They want to program
Mm-hmm.
the woman
Yep.
so she can teach the children. That's what they want.
Yes.
Because
Yep.
mama
Because they
mama
want
and the
cars
kids,
and they want that
yes,
money.
mama and the kids sit up on the TV and watch the programs, and by Christmas they got a whole list. We're gonna make daddy get broke. We're
Come
gonna
on.
stress out. We gotta understand. We gotta get disciplined with this thing because we spending all our
Come
money.
on.
We getting we not don't have enough discipline
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that we're stronger mentally and
Oh
spiritually.
man. You
You know what
teaching,
I'm saying?
brother.
So we got to be better with it, man, because they are working through the woman still to get
They are.
to the
I,
king, to get to the king,
Like
the
they,
man.
like they always have. Like they always have. And like you said, that is a huge point.
Yep.
Where are we having this disconnect? Let's not even talk about slavery. This was all in the fall. And so she
Mm-hmm.
listened to the serpent, she listened to him, and he listened to her. This
Yep.
Yes.
was what would have been wrong when it's supposed to be she was to listen to Adam and Adam was to listen to God. And so
Yes.
when we got disobedience in here, when you got disorder in here, this is why we have the same problems today. And like you're saying, the media now becomes the serpent that the woman listens to. And then we're watching our men, our kings, listening to her.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong.
let
Yep.
me say
Wrong.
one more thing.
Go ahead, King.
Okay, I want to talk about. Okay, I'm gonna do a little history. He was talking about using our women as pawns. They forfeit their wounds and you. How many of y'all know that was the whole plan for Margaret Sanger? Was
Okay.
to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
keep the Negro woman from having
Mm.
kids and
Yep.
multiplying.
Yep.
That was a
Mm-hmm.
whole goal.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And they use the Negro pastors. They use
Come
them
on and
to
teach.
talk to the women about multiplying.
Come on.
Man. Man.
Come on.
Man. Man.
Even
Man.
today, if you look at what you look at people like you're saying, people that are in the church, and it's so funny to me. It's so funny to me that in the church, again, the Bible that you say you follow, where it says don't fornicate, you'll say, okay, well, we'll teach our children, of course, not to fornicate, but here go birth control. Ain't no birth control. You
Contradiction.
No. No.
understand that you
No,
don't
ma'am.
control birth. It is God that controls. He is the author and finisher of life. So when you're giving birth control, you're saying that now you're in control. So it's one or the other. Or you can't say, okay, here go birth control, and then when you get older, you figure that out, or you do what you want to do. Ain't none of that.
And that's what it is. It's a cop out. It's a cop out because they don't want to have those conversations. They don't want to show how much they don't know. Because I thought about that, and I was like, if I never really had those conversations with my parents, and it's not even that they didn't like. I don't know if it was like the discomfort of it or whatever, but those we just never talked about it. It wasn't ever a topic ever. So like that's the problem. Like it's become so quote unquote taboo. Like, well, if I mention it, then they're gonna want to go and do it. And it's like, that's not really how it works, because guess what? Biology is gonna make them want to go do it anyway. But now they're going completely empty, completely blind, and have no idea what they're actually going and getting into and doing. Their bodies are going to make them want to go and do it anyway. They're going to figure it out. Trust me. And now there's internet. So what you don't teach them, the internet will.
Exactly. And see, that's the thing. When it comes down to it, number one, Doc, you can't be afraid. We can't be afraid. That's number one. We can't. I hear too many people. I don't know what I'm going to do when that day comes. You're going to teach. That's what you're going to do.
Period.
What you're going to understand, you're going to make it clear to them. Use the example of a criminal and how hard it is for the criminal to get back into the community. Use that example and teach your children how their decisions can be just like a criminal record. And you can't not just jump back out there after you've made mistakes and gotten pregnant, and the man never took you, the father never married you, but you think that, and any man looking at you is only going to pay the price that the baby daddy. So you are causing yourself issues. You have to break it down to them. You have to take them to a farmer. I encourage every parent, allow your children to really learn that entire process of farming. I promise you, it ain't going to be about no bird and bees. You're going to be able to teach them how God really planned for this thing to be, because it's just you really reap what you sow in every aspect. And I believe that's a great teaching tool to teach your young people how to understand what's happening when a man sows seed and when a woman receives it. There's things happen. So forget that birds and bees. So forget that birds and bees stuff. Teach them the sower and the and the seed.
Exactly.
Teach them
that. Because they're trying to teach them that about like courting and stuff like that, and it doesn't even make sense. Like, first of all, how are you teaching kids about courting? They don't have their own money, so that's not it. So they should be learning about the actual biology, because their bodies are basically being torn apart every time they wake up. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what didn't change, and they don't know why. And then now they have to go out into the world with these bodies that's literally rearranging themselves as they walk. And they have to be social now. They have to understand all of the subliminal messages that's being, poured on them through media, internet, social media, their peer groups. Like, they're constantly being bombarded with information, and it's been increased with technology. So like what we had was like, it was almost overwhelming, and we didn't have the open access to exactly. Like, the only time I could get to a computer was when I was in my school computer lab. That's when I got on the internet. That was like not even an hour of my day. Now you have access to it all the time. And you can even try and not give your kids a phone and not give them tablets and all this other stuff. But guess what? They have friends who have all of that stuff anyway. So it's better to, instead of keeping it from them, give it to them and teach them how to use it. Teach them how to protect themselves when using it.
That's it. Like, and I'm with you, sis. I'm with you, because this is imperative. Like, this is parenting 101. You are not in control, number one. Number two, these are not your children. They belong to God. You train them up his way, the way that he wants them to go. So understand this. Just like he parents you is the way that he expects you to parent them. He ain't controlling you all day. He ain't telling you every single day what to do, except for what's in his word. He's not going to make that decision for you. That's what I mean.
Exactly.
He's going to tell you what to do. When you get there, you are the one to make that decision, and you are the one that have to deal with the consequences that you cannot control. But our job as parents is just to teach his law. You cannot control not one thing. And I like what you said, Will. If baby, then baby, because God said so, not because two people got together. People getting together all day, busting. So
Yeah.
it can't be because you bust. Like that
All
ain't it.
day.
Yeah.
It's because he said, and when he said it's for a specific purpose and reason, it's strategic, and he'll use
Yep.
our disobedience
And
for his glory.
it's literally
Yes,
a
he will.
miracle.
Yes,
The
he will.
odds of
Yes.
conceiving a child is
He'll
14
choose how to
trillion
fly.
to
Come
1.
on.
Mm-hmm.
14 trillion. There's not even a trillion people. There's barely 8 billion people on this planet. And the
Come on.
odds of all of those people getting here is 14 trillion to 1. You can win the lottery every day of your life before you can actually have a baby. That's statistically impossible. 14 trillion to 1.
Yes.
Come on now.
Come on.
So
Come on.
imagine every time someone gets pregnant and have a baby. That is literally a miracle. It's not people being
Miracle.
exaggerating and just being like, oh,
Girl,
no, it's literally a miracle.
yes,
All the fish
yes,
that's swimming.
yes,
Come on.
The
yes,
swimmers.
And
I
the
mean,
fact that
swimmers.
and the fact that the woman survived, like that's another. Oh, I
the
stand these little memes and questions like, oh,
yes.
the woman can say this and the man don't have should have say after the no, because guess what? Once that woman is pregnant, her life is on the line now. Her life is tied to the life inside of her. If that baby
Ooh.
dies in her life is like
Ooh.
if
Yes.
they don't get that baby out of her in time, she will die along with that child
Mm.
because she's
And that's
connected.
yes.
Like little
And
blood
that's
vessels and all. Have you seen the placenta? That is
Come on.
your
oh
entire life force being tied to that child.
yes.
on.
And
If
that's
you're
why
not
you
in
have to
good health,
teach
that
it.
affects the health of the baby.
Yes. And that's why we need the elder women to teach the younger women how
Come on.
precious it is. Because this world continues to diminish the womb of our women.
Come
Mm.
It's
on.
not just it's not something to diminish. That is something that you should not be given for free. That is
Come on.
something that a man doesn't have a womb, so he needs his womb man. He needs her. So
I
that
think
is a
me a
gift.
woman, man.
That's an
Man, I
actual
think that.
gift because it's downplayed so much, and God's glory is diminished so much. They think that I can convince myself this ain't a life in me, and now I'm God, and I can sacrifice the blood of my child. No,
Come on.
no,
Exactly.
no. That's not how that happens. But because this is Babylon, and they worship the mother goddess, they want the one to call herself God. And so the minute that child is in you, you profess and proclaim, I create life. But no, you don't. I am the God of this. I can control this. But no, you don't. God can drop you dead and make sure that child stay here.
Yep.
He can
Yep.
drop you dead and make sure that child stay
Absolutely.
here. That is, you are absolutely fact. It's a miracle. But when people try to take power into the hands that only God can have, only He can be sovereign, only He can be supreme, and we're trying to take those mantles on ourselves, and we wonder why we age so quickly because God is not pleased.
Come
You
on.
don't get to take on His
Exactly. Yes.
He ain't nowhere in
That
there.
bears
God ain't nowhere in
heavy
there.
on you.
You
Taking
can never bear
taking
His. You
any
can
life
never
will
bear
bear
His
heavy
power.
on you.
Exactly.
Man.
You can't bear a supreme
Right.
God
True.
power. No.
Just like the
And
men
that's
who
why
abandon families, you
men.
can't tell me that any of those women go on and live full and happy lives. I guarantee you, at some point in time, they're thinking about the date that they went in that clinic.
Yes.
They're thinking about the how many kids they would have had. They think all of that stuff. It pops up every now and then, I'm sure, and that is a scar on your soul. Like you have to carry that for the rest of your life, whether they're here or not.
Come on.
And that's why
That's
we
yours to
men.
bear.
Yes, and that's why
And
we
we don't need to
men
start
have
with
to
them hot
be.
Cheetos.
Yeah.
He said extra hot.
Us men have to really stand strong in position and really treat our decision like a liberty. To treat our decision like a gift from God, because you can't just give your seed to any ground and then complain about the weeds that come forth.
Oh,
You have to vet your ground to break up that fallow ground, till that thing. You have to put the work to that thing and make sure that you're not creating. Because if you're not in the home of with your children and you're not raising your children, God already said how He feels about a father that's not there. Doc mentioned it earlier. You're not there. You feel that you're worse than an infidel. You know why? Because that was your seed from your spirit. The life you're giving, the life-bearing seed was in you. You put it in ground that you were not even pleased with, and now you're upset from which it came from. That's because of you. Now you created gremlins that go out into the community and are in juvenile centers locked up and all kind of other stuff because daddy was not in the rightful place and it started with the wrong decision. So now
Hey,
you
I
can't
got it.
complain. Now you can't complain about baby mamas. You can't complain about who you had your child with. You
Because
did
those were all your
not.
decisions.
You
Those
were
were all
not
your
careful.
decisions.
Exactly. Not careful about the ground you sow into. And now she's multiplied and she's giving you what you put in her. That's what she's doing.
Mess.
Hey, I got a homie. I got a homie. He call them yard monsters.
Y'all, I can call them gremlins.
They out there stomping the yard.
No, I think I heard somebody on Facebook call them crotch gremlins. I was like, oh my.
Man,
oh.
we got an issue to fix out here, man. We got an issue to fix.
Exactly. But that like I said, all of that starts with self-love. People gotta get in there. You gotta dig it out. I'm telling you.
You will love your seed.
Question everything. Where did I get this from? Who taught me this? Where did I first hear this?
Right.
Why do I think that this is what it is?
Yeah.
And once you start questioning that stuff, you're gonna realize it's a lot of stuff that you believed in that you actually hold as your values that don't make any sense.
We've been bamboozled. He wasn't lying. He said these are the miscons. We have been seriously conned. And like you're saying, like master singleness. You have to
I tell a person real quick. My default is single.
Together.
Because I love being single. Because I love being me. And that's with me.
Yeah. Men and women are suffering from identity crisis, and they're also suffering from daddy issues. And they suffer from Dr. Cressy, what she was talking about. Every person, they were negated their lap time, and because they didn't get lap time as children, because you pushed them away, get away from me. I ain't got time for this. Go over the eye. And when they wasn't ready to get up out your lap, or you forced them into the lap of another, they're actually now as adults looking for a lap time, like on the pole, for instance, because you didn't give it to them. You didn't have the time. You didn't have the energy, or so you say. You know, and that makes a child feel like they're not important, like they're not worth
exactly.
Yep. Because it's like Doc said. It's like Doc said. Being whole, respecting yourself. If you respect your seed, you're gonna watch where you sow that seed. If you respect your womb, you're gonna watch what you receive. You know, it's just simple as that. And that's why me and Mary laugh all the time. She knows I don't loosely use the word lady. I don't loosely use the word woman. I don't loosely use the word queen.
Yes.
All this self-proclaiming, and you have to earn those titles. No, you don't get that. Show me you respect yourself, and I'll call you what I see.
Yeah, right.
You know,
exactly.
And the same way, vice versa. You know, but we do not respect, and that's why I always say, respect your seed, protect your seed. That's what a man's supposed to. He'll learn that once he really learns to love himself and realize the gift God gave you. You are seed sower. You are God in flesh. You are
life
the seed
can't
sower.
come without it.
Yeah, exactly.
There are no immaculate conceptions around these parts.
Yes, and that's why they even with that, that's why they have to diminish the man so much, say he's not the prize, all these different things, because they want it to look like he's so weak and vulnerable like he was to the slave master. When he gives his seed over to that woman, now he's just helpless and vulnerable because my seed is in her. She can do anything she wants to because she's God. No. You can nip all that in the bud by choosing the proper ground, the proper soil.
And that's why you have the power before it gets in there. Before you release it. When you wield that power properly beforehand, none of that, it's a non-issue. Like that's why I'm just like, like I don't get it. So like now y'all finna come on the back end and attack the women who were also equal in those decisions, because unless it was rape going on, I feel like it was consensual. So we're talking about consensual sex. So that means both of you were there together and said, okay, green lights go. So then that means that the consequence of that is both of yours to bear.
Yes.
Yes.
Facts.
So even if she does decide and go and do some crazy stuff and go and get an abortion, that is still your
Yes.
consequence to bear because you
Yep.
decided to put
Mhm.
your seed in her.
You
Yep.
release that seed. Yep.
Yours. And it's death.
Yep.
And it's pretty much saying, when God gives you that miracle, that's a gift from him. And what you're saying
Mhm.
is, I don't want that. That's your
I don't
message.
cherish. I don't cherish it enough. You know.
Hello? And we think that we're just saying that this is something between each other. We talk this, oh, my body. We go with the whole me too. Hold on, men too. What are you talking about? Just me
Mhm.
too? It's me
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Everybody
Yep.
going through some stuff. So it ain't just you alone. And it ain't your body. See, this is the crazy talk that we're talking. If you recognize that
Right.
you're not of yourself, you don't belong to you. So you can't make
Mhm.
these crazy decisions to put upon death
Yes.
upon yourself, upon your children, and now you've
Mhm.
also entered this into this man's home. I mean, this
Mhm.
is this is huge,
Yes.
Very
and
huge.
we
And
don't
that,
see this.
and that's become it comes from a place of selfishness. Being
Mhm.
so completely so, but then that selfishness ends up hurting everybody involved, like including yourself. Like you think you're doing it for you, no, you're doing it to you.
Yes, yes.
Hey,
Like
Queen, let me
that's
ask.
oh, go ahead.
Let me ask you, Queen, Selena. Do you think on my platform I do the part twos? Do you think we might need to do a part two? Because this is fire right here. This is. I mean, this fire. This something that we can keep going on.
We could just keep going. Like I didn't mean we didn't mean to go to 7:30, But
Yeah.
yes,
It's
yes,
fire.
But I encourage the few men that I do have like very personal conversations with, like they tend to open up to me, and I tell them like don't ever feel like you are of lesser value than whomever, because you are the only you. No one else can be you. Like that gives you value. If nothing else can make you think that you're valuable, the fact that only you can be you
Right.
makes you
Yes.
immensely priceless. No one
Oh
can
yeah.
replace you. Anyone else that comes on, they are them. They're different and they're going to do things different. They have different experience. They have different
right.
perspectives. All of that stuff. Their interactions with everybody is going to be different. You can
Come on.
only be you.
Yes.
So value yourself as such. And that's why I kind of look like strange when it's like, all these men jumping down on women that's sleeping around. It's like, and you do it too. So that means you don't value yourself either. Because they can't sleep around by themselves.
Teach,
Yep.
sis.
They're not out
Podcast
here
that.
being talked about for just having fun by themselves. Like that's as personal as a prayer to God gets. No one
Yes.
else should know about that but you and whatever you doing. So
Mhm.
if you're sleeping around, you're leaving yourself with all of these women. All of these women have some tie, some thought of you, something. They're watching your Facebook page, they comment, they hopping in these other women inboxes like, oh, you talk to this is what's going on behind the scenes while you're out here doing whatever, and then you think you have found your wife. Guess what's gonna pop up? All of these women
Yep.
that you've been hanging and dipping in, and now they feel some type of way because you didn't choose them.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Teach. Teach.
Come
Only
on.
and
one can
and guess
take the
what,
realm.
now your record is coming
Come
up,
on.
Yes.
and
Come
she
on.
and she might absolutely be wife material, and guess what, she doesn't want that drama. She
Yep.
doesn't want all of these people that think they can stake a claim on her husband,
Come
that
on.
think that they can step to her and say something to her about her husband, about
Woo.
her home, her household.
Man. Yeah, this
And so
this
when you open up yourself and you let those people in, you're carrying all of those people with you.
yes,
Mhm.
you are.
All of them bad decisions, especially if you don't take the time to heal yourself. And when you heal yourself, guess what you're gonna think about? Dang,
Come on.
I did Stephanie extra wrong. Ooh, I did
Yep, yep.
Keisha real
Look.
bad. And you're gonna go back and you're gonna apologize and you're gonna mend
Yeah.
the
Like
pain.
Keisha.
You're gonna mend what you did with them. You're gonna say, you know what? I shouldn't have did XYZ. And guess what? That can help put healing in them because you have healed yourself and you have put yourself in a place of value that you can show other people that you value them as well.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's where the community healing comes in.
Come on. Come
and
on.
and then now they're like, you know what, I ain't never had a guy do that before, and then she's going to start taking a look at her own actions, her own feelings toward herself. Like, you know what? The only reason why I was in that position is because I felt like XYZ about myself.
Mhm.
Come on, come on, come on. It's the
All
truth.
right, we're gonna get final thoughts, everybody.
Awesome, awesome.
Okay.
Well, that
King
was my
Dwayne.
final thought.
Okay, King Dwayne.
Well, yeah, I just want to say, let us be vigilant. Let us keep our head on a swivel out here. Let us guard our decision making by guarding our hearts and our minds and understanding. I read a scripture that really took me in last night. Talking about how God's thoughts are higher than ours. His ways
Mhm.
are higher than ours.
It
He knows
is.
how to put us in. He knows how to put us in ideal situations. Ideal situations, and it might not feel like it's uh, a great ideal for us, but his vantage point, how far he can see down the line, we have to learn to trust him what he's doing. We have to trust him. We have to be willing to uh, be accountable and
Come
step
on.
up on both ends. All this, um, with my kids, I like to, I'm scolding one, they want to point at the other. We got to stop that. We got to
Yep.
stop that so we can actually
Same
have some
thing. Come on.
change.
Same
Actually
thought.
have some change so that we can actually get to the table and have conversations like this so that we
Yes.
can better and mend those relationships that have been broken between the so-called black woman and men. Because uh, God meant for us to be a strong union. He meant for us to be able to thrive, and we're missing great blessings because we are missing opportunities in relationship.
Yeah.
There,
Yep.
all these people.
Yeah.
One of the things I really want to make clear out here is that when you get into a place where you're so frustrated with this thing that you say, "I don't need nobody," stop lying because we all need relationship. We
Hmm.
all need it. And
Mhm.
I promise you, the sooner you get it in God, whole with yourself, and you find that one, you're going to have some of the greatest moments of your life that you could ever have because you submitted to His will, and now He's able to show you limitless joy under His supervision.
Mm. Teach me.
Absolutely, Queen.
Teach. Yeah. Final thoughts. Like the title of the show. It's about the concept and where did you get your origin of concepts regarding relationship. And one thing that I tell people is to read Kingdom Law. But when I'm saying read, that word, if you break it down, means to re-add. So re-add Kingdom Law to yourself. Go back, do it for yourself. Don't accept what's been handed down to you. It could be wrong, or it could be missing something. If something is absent or missing, that then makes it wrong. It's an omission. It still makes it a lie. And so go back and re-look at the things that have been passed down to you generationally and see if it properly aligns with God's origin of truth. He is our true north. Okay. What is the true north? It is an original point of reference for all things. There isn't just something that you just can say, okay, that's original point for that, but then I have an idea over here. No, it doesn't work like that, because again, when we're talking about production, you are a product. You are his product. So just like with Cadillac, and they have their cars, that's a product. And so you are supposed to refer back to the manufacturer's manual for everything that goes along with this product. But just like the cars we drive, the microwaves we use, nobody's looking at the manufacturer's manual for resolve. You have all types of stuff on machines that you're not using. You're putting the wrong gas in the tank. You're putting in the wrong oil. So go back to the original point of reference and identify your true north, the person that holds you down and let you know where you always are. That's my word.
Impeccable metaphor, by the way.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just say this is that man, this is a great show. The what are your foundational concepts of relationships? And I think everybody came with that heat today, came with that fire. And I mean, I'm gonna wrap it up by saying is men and women, don't just listen to mom or whatever. When you are talking about your experience, don't just say your mama said this. You know what I'm saying? Talk about what God said, or talk about what you read, or talk about what you experienced.
Come on.
Mhm.
Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Come back next week.
Yes. Yes. Please join us next week, where I guess we'll just pick up part 2 because this is such a hot topic. You know,
Okay.
we want to bring this back on up.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Part 2.
Yes. So
Yeah.
thank you, everybody. I guess we're out. We got to figure out some type of
It's right to close it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we gotta close out. Yeah.
something. I
Yeah.
don't know, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But we
Mhm.
got to do something. But hey,
You
in the
gotta
meantime,
what you gotta rock single before you mingle.
There it is. On the count of
Okay,
3.
you gotta
Hey,
rock single
rock
before you
single
mingle.
before you mingle. I done
Right,
already
right.
did some mingling, but hey, rock single before you mingle.
wait a minute.
Oh
Before we go
yeah.
out here, let me see if he
Crack
gonna put
gremlin, sir.
a crack gremlins. He has felt a picture
Oh,
crack gremlins.
Hey,
oh, oh.
Hey,
Lord,
hey,
that's
they
what I
out
said
here,
right
man.
now.
They out here.
looking
They out here,
looking
man.
just
Most,
like that.
most
On man, he
definitely.
got a suit on with the turtleneck.
Most definitely they
Man,
about here. You
keep
gotta
keep your
duck and
head on a
dodge
swivel.
sometimes. Hey, you gotta duck and dodge.
So much.
I'm
You
telling
play so much. Hey, Miss Shannon, we see you. We have to get ready to wrap it on up. But thank you so much for joining us and tuning in. And will you play too much?
Too much.
All right, y'all.
you.
Rock before you
Before you
mingle.
mingle.
Rock single before you mingle.